Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
All righty, here we go. It's time for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Call me right now, 1-800-252-1025, or we happily take your emails at lifecoach@KZOK.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let us talk to Steve in Graham and see how he's doing this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Hey.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
I'm good.
All right, what can I do for you?
All right, well, I got a little brother. He is 17 going on 18.
Right.
And he just hasn't really been, like, pulling his weight. Like, he's failing school.
Boy, don't you wish, obviously you do wish you wouldn't be calling the life coach about this, but you got a 17-year-old who's about to be a member of society. Here we go. And you're going to dictate a great portion of the rest of your life with the next decision that you make. And when you talk to a 17-year-old, and I was no special at 17 years old, I'm just saying, you know, when you look back on this, you really want to get them and say, hey, man, this all counts. This is, you go on your permanent file, whatever the hell that is, your next choice goes in that. So you're a good brother to want to get you. How young is your little brother? You said 17?
Yeah.
All right. So what is your specific question for me? And I just want to congratulate you on thinking to call. That's kind of awesome. I wish I had a big brother like you.
I just want to know what you would do, because I've already tried to reach out to him, because, like, I probably didn't do as well as I should have in school, and I just wanted to tell him that, like, hey, your life would be easier if you do well, and he's almost to that point where it's almost too late, you know?
Right, I understand, because he almost is an adult. How are you doing in life?
I'm good. I'm on my own, like, I'm pulling my own weight, but life could have been better.
How old are you, Steve?
I'm 22.
22. Okay. Well, because my little brother is 17 going on 18, and we're having the same issue. You know, he'll say he's doing his homework and then not turn it in, and then my mom will find the homework done in his folder, but it wasn't turned in. And it's like, why? Oh, well, I forgot. So there's so much to be. These kids these days, they kind of feel entitled, like they can do the work, but don't have to turn it in kind of thing.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Can you believe it's come to that point in your life? Kids today. You actually just said that.
Did I really?
If you want to write down what time and what date it is when you got that old with kids today. But you know what? You might be the best one to give Steve some advice about his kid brother. What would you do?
Do you guys have any common activities you guys do together?
Yeah, we play music together, and we snowboard.
Well, I think you should take him to like a concert or like a good snowboarding session and just talk to him. You know, why is he doing bad in school? Try to get into his head, because that's the way you have to do it with these kids. You got to get inside of his head, learn your brother, that you think you know your brother, but you don't really know him until you get deeply inside his soul. You know, find out what he's about.
All right, I would say that's really sound advice from Gibbons right there, but I get a little more hardcore than that, and I say do all of those things. And you don't have much time, Steve, because you called a 17. Here we go. But it's winter right now. I think just everything now he's kind of got to be able to pay for with cash or grades B and above. You want to hit the slopes, buddy, I need to see a B and above, because he can't generate real money if he hasn't been generating already. I got to see your grades improve, and that you can do, because I'll talk to your teacher and say, hey, if there's a real improvement coming from my little brother, could you make me aware of it? I'll ask every single week if he's getting better. And if he is, I think you pay for the ski lifts. But the thing is, you do one of the things. You talk to Gibbons, and maybe you do both. You get the chance to talk to him on the slopes and waiting in the ski lifts, and you get a good, important time to look at them together. On the other hand, if you're not seeing a great level of improvement, go a little more hardcore with me, and everything starts and stops now with a B grade. I need to see that right away. And either way, you will see so quick, with good grades comes the things you want. I can tell you that all day long.
Good grades comes money, and then you get to see Tori in a tube top.
Right, but if you pay for that, if you say that, he can't make that kind of money that he didn't make yesterday. He's 17. But if you say, hey, man, you could buy a ski slow pass today with this kind of money. When I went to your teacher and I said, is he improving? And she said, yes. Right then and there, I paid for your ski pass. Hey, so good luck. So do those things. Have a long talk with him on these things when you're playing music together. By the way, music is all mathematics. You might want to point that out to him. And on the slopes together. So talk to him about that. And then if that doesn't do enough for you and you got to move quickly, you say, hey, man, you're about to pay your own way on the slopes.
If you've got a question for the life coach, 800-252-1025. Call right now, because Danny can help you figure it out. You can also email lifecoach@KZOK.com. Sherry in Seattle has sent an email asking the life coach for help. My friend is a psycho. How do I get her some help? I've known her since she was 14. She is now 24. In the last 10 years, she has claimed her stepmother is evil, that she has cancer, that she has Crohn's disease. She had cancer again. She had a stroke. She needs a wheelchair. She attempted suicide. I have Bell's palsy, etc., etc. I have determined all of these claims are untrue. I fear she has reached a point where she can't care for her child. She needs help. How do I get her some?
Well, that's you go to the state on this, because at first when she's going around with that, I found it kind of interesting. And then because I knew a guy who had cancer, and that's the way he would get your way into your life. And he'd tell us, this is the only part he did wrong, because he was really smart, this kid, is that he forgot he gave himself a terminal disease and never died. And when he failed to pass away, you'd go, hey, I don't really believe that stage 4 thing you were telling me before. I think your friend is actual dangers to others, and I think you're just right on board with about her kid. You should first call her family. They're probably as sick of her as you are, but you need to get in touch with her family and say where this is going. And then, if you can figure out, if you can put your finger on where this is dangerous to her kid, and I agree with you, I think that it is, you need to call the state and say, hi, give me your name, and tell them where this is going. Because a couple of those specific, that's, what's it called by proxy? That's that Munchausen disease by proxy is the one everybody hears about. What you don't hear about is Munchausen disease, and that's where you just hurt yourself. And I'm thinking that's where this kid, your friend, 24 years old, suffers a Munchausen disease, and then it's going to get worse and worse and worse till she gets the reaction that she wants. So I think, and thank God she has a kid. Normally you'd say, oh, that's terrible. This crazy person has a kid to care for. You know what? It would be nobody's business if she didn't have a kid. The fact that she has you to make that phone call and a child, I think she can probably get some help, but you need to let them know, because the people that answer the phone at crisis centers, they've been trained a little bit, but this is iffy, Van Munchen disease. You need to sell them on that, because it's going to be real. Pretty soon you're going to see her and she's going to weigh 87 pounds, because that's the way she can sell this. So I think you have the right thing. You need to call the city and check on that and use the kid. And you're right about the kid. Use the kid, say she has a little kid. She can't take care of this child while she's doing all these diseases. And by the way, your friend pretty much believes she has these diseases. Your friend is a sick person, and it's great of you that you're willing to get involved, but you need to step in and call the city.
800-252-1025. You need to be calling that number now if you need some help. The life coach can help you out. He's been through it all. And remember, change your name if you would like to. Call yourself Anonymous, Becky, Billy, or Bob.
I was thinking about that with, I never actually, you're talking about Danny's been through it all, which is ever so far completely true. And I thought, I never had Munchausen's. I missed it. And I thought, no, that's not completely true. I threw myself down a flight of stairs, then got hurt in order to win a girl back. So I'm going to, it's not exact Munchausen, but it will do.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did.
All right.
You get crazy pants sometimes.
That's what she said, because she saw the fall. And I don't know what about it didn't look real, because I flew down those stairs and really hurt myself. But she just, talking to me like, you're an idiot. Why would you? She knew it was fake right away. I said, it's not fake. Look, I'm bleeding. She said, you're crazy. But I got her back. My father's house, down his stairs.
And that's why you're the life coach.
Damn right I am. I'll have Munchausen disease for you people. That's how much I love you.
Lifecoach at KZOK.com if you would like to email, 800-252-1025 if you would like to call. Mary has sent an email. I'm an introvert, more so now than ever. I like my time alone. I don't care for people stopping by or nagging me to go out. Most of the time, I'd rather stay home with a book and enjoy the solitude. The problem is, the worst offenders are the people who know me the best, my family. Someone is always popping in. They're bugging me to go here or there. When I say I'd like to just stay home,
they don't believe you.
I get accused of being antisocial. My siblings drop in and stay for hours. I just want to be alone. I get no enjoyment from socializing, and I've tried to go away for weekends alone, but someone always invites themselves along. How do I convince people that I enjoy and need my alone time?
Well, let's see. Let's go through this together. First of all, stop being available. That you don't want the reputation of a person who's home and doesn't answer the door. There's going to be a lot of talk about you. I would suggest, and this is right off the top of my head because it's kind of a new one for me, because most people don't have the problem of, hey, a bunch of people really like me. A bunch of people really want to hang out and have tea with me. Danny, can you help me? So this is a new one for me. But I would not say, my first inclination would say, don't answer the door. Don't answer the phone, which, by the way, I stick with don't answer the phone. Don't answer the phone. But you don't want to be the lunatic person that's got your brothers and your sisters outside pounding on the door when they know you're there. You can park your car around the block, but all that, you're starting to lead towards crazy. You want to find somewhere else for your alone time, whether it's a Starbucks. We had a place in Los Angeles. These are before Starbucks made it big. What was a place? The Bourgeois Pig. But it was a coffee shop. And people would go in there and they'd write and stuff. And I used to go in there with a book. And it was everything but the Roaring Fire, a ski lodge thing right there on Franklin Avenue. And I loved that time in there, sitting there reading my book or working on my proposal, handwriting my book because I hadn't found Dragon Nuance yet. But that's the first thing I'm going to give you off the top of my head is find another place. And if you're thinking, Bonaduce, why do I have to leave my house? Well, you don't, but you're going to suffer. These people who care about you, rightly or wrong, they think something's wrong with you on this. Why wouldn't you want to be around people who care about you? I happen to be married to you, believe it or not. Amy would much rather, and this is before she met me, things seem to have changed, but I talked to her mother about this and stuff. She would rather sit home with a book than anything else. She doesn't want to be bothered with other people, and not in a mean way. She's a sweet girl, but she just doesn't get all of this. She just wants to spend alone time. So this is the best I can do for you off the top of my head, is find somewhere else where quality alone time can be reached. I would say that place for me was that really cool coffee shop on Franklin in Los Angeles, but you should find it for yourself. Well, you could just go somewhere because other people, if they're there, won't be bothering you. They don't know you. They'll let you be. So find somewhere where you can have quality alone time without looking like a lunatic, because I worry about that. I'm not going to ever tell you, stop answering the door. That's gonna go bad for you. They're gonna tell you, hey man, we know you were home. We saw the flickering or whatever. Find a place to be alone and go there, and then slowly but surely tell your family, hey, this is what I need. I love you and stuff. I just need alone time, quality alone time. But find it somewhere else for now. And thank you very much.
Got time for another email on Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. This comes from Tessa in Seattle. My friend's wife thinks nothing of driving to a restaurant to pay for a meal for her grandson and a girl who order knowing they can't pay. This grandson is 35 years old. He's a felon on parole with no address, no car, and a wife and a kid. He's stolen my friend's car repeatedly. He doesn't respect his elders. I have asked authorities to look out for my friend. They aren't doing anything. I'd like to help my friend with this grandson problem, but I don't know what I can do. How do you see it?
Wow. The first thing I think is, how does this guy get a girl? Yeah. He's a felon on parole. How do you get a girl to dine with? Well, the first thing she's got to do is kind of easy. Obviously, she won't do this, or this would be your remedy already. Don't pay. Don't go. Don't be home. Block his phone number, whatever you need to do, because that's really, you talk about enabling in the worst possible way. This guy's never going to need a job, ever. He's never going to need a job as long as he can eat in restaurants on dates without a wallet.
But how does Tessa convince her friend to stop enabling this guy?
But here's what you would do, and if she would call me, I would love that. On or off the air, and I will call, because here's what happens. It gets so much worse than this. Then you're just paying for a meal. And you know what? If he doesn't have a job and where do you think any money he's getting goes? I am just guessing now. There's a drug problem in here somewhere. And if this kid ends up, or this adult ends up dead somewhere, and your friend finds out, I paid for that. I paid for that. I paid for his last drug abuse. I paid for him so he never has to do anything to be a good member of society. She will feel bad forever. So tell her, you're financing his demise, and she's going to be sad forever if that's what happens. And I hate to tell you this, that's probably what's going to happen if you don't make this grown man get it together. It doesn't just get better on his own. Somebody has to do so. If you're 35 and this is the way you live, this is the way you live. You got to change the way that guy lives, whether he wants to or not, and she's got to do it, and the way to do it is to make herself unavailable to this guy, and if she won't listen to reason, tell her what I just told you, that she's financing his death, very possibly, and I'm telling you this, he's got to be on drugs or something, that even if he's not, he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything. She's financing this way of life, and it's not going to work. It's not going to end well. So thank you for the calls and the emails. I appreciate it.
Hey, by the way, you brought up that Nuance Dragon speech recognition
Yes, I did.
software.
I love it.
We do have a copy of that we're going to be giving away before the show is over today. We're going to play the game Recognize That Dragon to win a copy of Nuance Dragon speech recognition software that you love so much.
I will tell you this. Most of you can probably, type reasonably well and spell check yourselves reasonably well. You still totally want I got this because I was dyslexic, or still am dyslexic. Changed my life like I cannot tell you, that I was all of a sudden able to not only just spell and write and email and things like that. Then I got big money for that book. I made a real living, and it was all this because of this dragon stuff. So you should get this if you can.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.